announcement has been paid for by the...
And welcome. Hello. Locke, Travis, Ty, everybody. Welcome to the nOw podcast. My daughter just yelled. I don't know if you heard that.
I'm sure everybody in the tri-state area heard that.
It's all good. So yeah, we're back. We're going to be talking about the weekend wrestling as of last week. We are not going to talk about Raw tonight because we're going to talk about that next week. And then we're also going to do another Q&A because the Q&A did well last week. It seemed like we had a lot more engagement last week for the Q&A. People seemed more interested in jumping into that. So yeah, I am here, of course, with my tag team partner, Trevor.
What's up?
And we have a special guest today. We have Order of the Za.
What's up, baby?
So, another common thing that we do quite a bit when we have a new guest on. Just tell the people a little bit about how you got into wrestling, your favorite match, your favorite pay-per-view.
You're just going to make me rattle off my favorite match off the top of my head.
I
see how you are.
Just do whatever you'd like to pretty much tell people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bat, for the host.
I love this crazy profession that we all know.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, I'm Will. Most of y'all know me as MXG. I fell in love with wrestling at a very young age. I do believe that I was
so
8
much
o'clock.
for that, man. That's
8 years old at the time, which is now 14 years of my life. So I've been watching wrestling for more than half of my life. Scrolling through the channels, 8-year-old kid one day at my aunt's house, discovered an Intercontinental Championship match between John Morrison and Rey Mysterio. And I was in awe. Like, 8-year-old kid, I've never seen anybody do anything remotely close to what these guys were doing. So it was all very exhilarating to me, and I fell in love with it from there. Favorite match off the top of my head, I'd have to go. I mean, it's a good one, Cody. I have to go with it. Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page at Revolution 2020. I have to. It's such a good match.
I mean, it's definitely the greatest tag team match I have ever seen.
Yeah, hands down. Hands down. I wouldn't, I'm crunched for time right now. I don't necessarily have time, 20 minutes to think of, what's my favorite
Jericho.
But that's
that with a
the
sub.
first one that comes to mind.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, for
like
the
watching
last,
that live,
the last couple years,
experiencing that crowd.
There's a reason why that tag team match was the match of the year last year.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's rare when tag team matches get put over like that, but that was an absolute classic.
That was absolutely, yeah.
But yeah.
For the best at the moment.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure. For sure.
Hey, DKA. Hey, Mueller. Yes, I'm a fan of AEW. I went to their first ever taping in Washington, D.C., sold out arena, all that jazz. It was a great time. I also went to
You were at Full Gear. You were
and,
Full Gear in 2019, weren't you?
Yeah, in Baltimore, because I live in Maryland. So I get to go to D.C. and Baltimore shows quite a bit.
I've only ever been to one show.
And also Philly. I'm about an hour from Philly, too. So I get all three of those. So that's always a good time. But yeah, we're going to talk about this weekend wrestling first, and then we're going to hop into a Q&A. Thank you, DKA, for the host. But yeah, we're going to hop into the Q&A afterwards. Love to get the chat involved as well with that Q&A. But yeah, let's talk about Raw from April 26th. So we opened up with T-Bar and Mace versus Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. DKA with the 69 bits. Nice. We had... Oh, I already said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. which ended with Strowman power slamming Drew McIntyre for not listening. Yeah, Raw was Raw. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's pretty much
how
how
I
I'll
was
say
going to
it.
put it. That there's no reason that show should be 3 hours of my week every week.
Do we think AEW will be better than WWE in the future? We'll touch on that a little bit later.
We'll definitely touch on.
Yeah, I think there's potential, but we'll dig into it a little bit later. Next up, we had The New Day and Damian Priest versus The Miz, Jackson Riker, and Elias. Woods got
While we're on the topic, if
Yeah.
I may interrupt, while we're on the topic of like that whole thing between Bobby Lashley, Retribution,
Tie
Drew
with 32
McIntyre,
bits.
Braun Strowman, all that,
Thank you.
it feels like it has no direction. It feels like we're just picking names out of a hat and going with what we're going with.
Pretty much.
It feels very forced, and with a 3-hour show, a lot of things are going to be forced. This just, I was not a fan of this at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Raw is bad.
Raw
right
is
now.
Raw at this point. Like,
Yeah, Raw's been bad for a couple years now.
it really has.
Let Dijakovic just be like he was at
Dijakovic. Oh
Yeah.
my God,
him and Keith
that
Lee
match
put on-
he had with Keith Lee at whatever take it was, that Takeover 30. That was Takeover 29. I don't know. One of the takeovers.
They had a couple really good matches together in NXT.
That's what I'm, just let Dijakovic be Dijakovic.
Yeah, but
The man is insane for his size.
Yeah,
Where's Keith Lee? Is he still hurt? Or...
he's
I think he's still-
not cleared.
Is that a real injury or is that a kayfabe injury?
No, it's real.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
He's not cleared. But yeah, Woods got the cradle pin on Riker. I just hope that they don't keep Damian Priest in this sort of light because
I think they need to have Damian Priest accept one of Sheamus's open challenges sometime. I feel like that would be a legitimate, like, because I'm gonna be honest, that Damian Priest, Bad Bunny versus Miz and Morrison at Mania, that was a good match. Like, that blew expectations out of the water, specifically because Bad Bunny was just so insane in that match.
Yeah.
People had no
Tired of
expectations
Elias
for that.
and Riker. They're always in a tag match every week. Yeah. I mean,
The tag matches that WWE does,
they're bad.
it's going back on the whole. Everything is just, it feels so forced on Raw.
Yeah. So next up, we had another non-match between Sheamus and Humberto Carrillo. I do like how they're pushing Carrillo a little bit, but I don't like how
I don't.
they're kind of they took him off TV for a while just to bring him back to bury him a little bit further, which I don't like. He's very, very good.
Carrillo is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we had RK Bro versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. We had Matt Riddle picking up the pinfall. Orton did not celebrate with his tag team partner Riddle.
I think
like
that
this
has.
team.
I think, yeah, I was about to say, I think this has potential.
Just the whole Riddle over celebrating and stuff, and just Randy just like, I am done
Not
with this
giving
guy.
a fuck. It's like Team Hell No in 2013, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Orton's the best thing Raw's had, so.
Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre low-key been carrying that show.
Yeah.
Also, Corey
To be
going,
fair.
he's gonna hit him with RKO. All right, now.
Eventually.
Ow.
I love Corey
We're
Graves.
just waiting for it. Next up, we had a 6-woman match. Asuka, Lana, and Naomi versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley. A lot of people are unhappy that Rhea Ripley is getting tagged with some heels because she is a tweener.
But isn't
herself.
that technically what she is right now?
She's a tweener. I mean, she hasn't changed her gimmick from NXT and NXT.
She hasn't really
She's a
changed her
tweener.
gimmick, but she hasn't really done anything to say, "Oh, hey, I'm a good guy."
Yeah, that's why I say she's
if I'm
a
not
tweener,
mistaken,
if
she
anything.
jumped Asuka.
Yeah.
She jumped Asuka in that
RK
one
Bro
tag
is
match
just
before Mania.
Justice Royale if it was Cody instead of Camden. Yeah.
She's still getting cheered though, and like, I don't know why they're pushing her as the heel. Just
Yeah, I
because
think
Asuka's
Raw
the
would be
face.
good if the brand split ended. I don't necessarily
they've
know. If the brand, I think it's bad. One,
The
because
brand
it's a
split has been
3-hour
long
show.
and dead, to be honest.
One, because it's a 3-hour show. Two, because creatively it's just not there compared to SmackDown.
It's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster
they
fire.
do have Jason Jordan taking over for that, so he may end up fixing it, but it's going to take him time to fix it. It's not going to be an overnight thing. He's not just going to take it and the next week it's going to be some immaculate show. It's going to take some time, and we're still going to think it's bad for a few weeks before it gets good.
Right. And if it ever does get good.
Yeah. Next up, we had Charlotte Flair versus Mandy Rose. And we had Charlotte Flair picking up the win. Surprise, surprise. But it was a good match.
It seemed like the obvious
Everybody was
choice.
shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't really see Charlotte Flair taking an L on an episode of Raw.
Yeah. And then to finish the show, we had Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. Mason T-Bar interfered. They were able to distract McIntyre long enough for Strowman to hit a power slam for the win.
And then that's going to be a triple threat at Backlash.
And that ended the show.
You think,
Right? That's what that is?
You think Strowman was just added to take the pin because they don't want McIntyre to lose again?
Probably.
Yeah, and they said that about Daniel Bryan too.
True.
So,
but he did take the pin.
They might throw us a curveball and put the belt on Braun, but I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, I mean, you heard it here first.
Well, now to the part of This Week in Wrestling that we actually enjoy talking about is Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So let's talk about Tuesday night. Let's talk about NXT. So this was the Fallout show from Stand and Deliver. Let's see, we had Mercedes Martinez taking out Dakota Kai by DQ. How'd you guys feel about that?
I mean, it's building towards the title match, so
Yeah.
don't hate it.
I
I
absolutely hate
just
pay-per-views,
hate that we can't
WrestleMania
end a-
Backlash. Yeah, absolutely.
I hate that
It's dumb to put.
WWE can't end a match without a distraction, DQ, or surprise roll-up. I can't
Yeah.
stand all that. It's like, oh, well, 50-50 booking. And we have one person win and then the next person win, and it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
it was a
Like,
good
just
match.
have somebody heels. When's the last time you've seen a heel win clean?
What happened to Roger
In
Strong?
WWE.
Roger Strong last week, he turned in his letter of resignation to William Regal, basically saying he's going to retire. He's probably going to be out for a couple weeks, and I see him going up to the main roster. He'll probably be a surprise at Backlash, most likely, if I had to put my money on it.
Who do you think? You think he'd be if Sheamus does decide here? Because this is what I'm thinking. If Sheamus does decide to do one of those U.S. Open challenges at Backlash, I feel like Roddy would maybe be the one to accept it. Yeah, I feel like that could be okay. Yeah, first day on the roster, show him once. It's kind of like a Sami Zayn in 2015 situation.
Yeah. Next up on NXT, we had Cameron Grimes going into a store to buy the biggest and most expensive watch possible. Yeah, and it came to be that the $1 Million Man tells him that his watch is nice, but it's not $1 million.
I love the $1 Million Man. He was always one of my favorite.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty funny segment for I didn't mind this at all.
I, for one, love Cameron Grimes. I know Devin in chat also loves Cameron Grimes. I feel like he has the potential to, if not be an NXT champion, at least be a North American champion. He's great. Oh, I love him.
When he Brock Lesnar and Raw, yeah, I miss Lesnar.
I do too. I don't miss
how,
but yeah.
I don't miss how long he was taking for his title matches, but Lesnar's great. Then we had the Grizzled Young Veterans meeting Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, who stood over the Grizzled Young Veterans after a brawl.
This should be a good match when they actually have it.
It should. That will be.
Oh, yeah. I, for one, love the team of Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. I feel like that... Because their Fight Pit match, I don't know if anybody watched their Fight Pit match.
Sorry.
Ciampa lost that match, if anybody remembers.
Uh-huh.
I did not see that coming. But this team, I like it a lot. feel like they could be tag champs if they got like the proper story, proper, like that match. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Walter versus Ciampa, Stand and Deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Low key match of the night. I feel like I'm rambling here, and I do apologize.
Ciampa's one of my favorites in NXT.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Ciampa got himself over with that no music entrance. He was the best heel that we've seen in at least a decade.
A decade.
Yeah. Next up, we had Tony Storm versus Zeta Raymir, who beat Tony Storm by pinfall, which I don't like how Tony Storm's kind of becoming a jobber a little bit.
I've never heard that name. Who is that?
She's new.
Yeah, she's new.
She's a rookie. I think first night.
I've never heard that name before, so that's why I was kind of confused.
Captain Smiles has redeemed for a #1 contendership match for the NAW Championship, which is held by his tag team partner, so that's weird. Is Finn Balor going to the main roster again? I don't know.
I don't think so. He's announced for next week's NXT.
I hope not.
Next
used
up,
correctly. I mean, but that's a lot of people on the main roster are not used correctly.
Yeah.
How do you mess up Finn?
That's difficult. Next up, we had
you'd be surprised.
You didn't say the magic word.
Lotus. Thanks for the host. Next up, we had Bronson Reed taking on Austin Theory. If Bronson Reed wins, he gets an NXT North American Championship match, which he does win. So he will get that match.
I'm going to interrupt here for a second. I do feel like if anybody were to take the NXT North American Championship off of Johnny Gargano, I believe it is Bronson Reed's time.
And this match actually had distraction by Loomis and Indy Hartwell.
There it is.
Being in love once again, which is great. I love it.
That is a great storyline. I do love that.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we had Killian Dane and Drake Maverick losing to Imperium pretty clean.
This one had a lot of story to it.
After the match, I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, during the match too, because what's his name? Alexander Wolf wouldn't hit
Killian Dane with the chair.
And Drake thought Dane was gonna join them and turn on him because they were trying to recruit him. I think it was, and
I would pop for that though.
Yeah,
if Killian Dane joined Imperium, I would pop for that.
I mean, Alexander Wolf really hasn't done much with Imperium. So besides debut,
I forgot that he was a member of Imperium.
Yeah, I really don't.
Going to be completely honest,
I really don't mind that whatsoever.
Every time I see him, I laugh though because Locke calls him Crackhead Butters because he looks like Butters from South Park, but like the crackhead version.
And then we had Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart receiving flowers. Frankie Monette says they're from Dexter Loomis, which causes these two to argue. So that would lead us to the.
They were arguing because they didn't want the flowers to be for them.
Yeah.
To be exact.
Okay.
But that's going to lead us to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell getting attacked, or attacking the tag team champions. But yeah. Then we had an interview by Adam Cole, who was preoccupied. And he's apparently not bothered by his loss to Kyle O'Reilly. He still sees himself as the face of NXT, and he laughs at the idea that Riley or Cross could take his spot as the face of NXT.
And then you had O'Reilly watching the interview.
Watching it, yep.
So they're probably going to go again, which nobody's going to complain
I don't
about.
think there's a single person on this earth that is opposed to that.
Hopefully they push Austin Theory. He can be a star one day. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you I always speak very highly of Austin Theory. I'm not going to dig.
I was about to say Cody's about to go off for like the next 30 minutes talking about Austin Theory.
I'm an Austin Theory mark. Next up we had what they're calling MS Kushida versus Legado del Fantasma. which they ended up beating MS Kushida.
So that's MSK and Kushida versus. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry,
In a very good match.
Fried.
But that was about it.
That's just I didn't watch anything this week, so I'm just kind of just giving input as I go.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, because homelessness, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right,
There was
moving
all
on.
sorts of shenanigans in this match, though. Tables. And...
No, this was a great match. If you go back to watch anything from this week,
Everybody
go back and
looked
watch
good.
that
It would be that match. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to Wednesday night, AEW announced for the night is Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford, Darby Allin versus number 10, tag team title eliminator match, the Young Bucks versus the Sydal Brothers, the Nightmare Factory versus the Factory, AEW AAA Mega Champion and Impact World Champion Kenny Omega speaks. We had Orange Cassidy versus Penta and Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. We're going to dig into it a little bit further. It opened up with Hangman versus Brian Cage, which surprisingly, Hangman Page took the loss here, and he kind of got beat down pretty rough.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I heard Hangman Adam Page lost this match in the fashion that he lost this match.
Yeah.
Well, he got beat up beforehand by the entire Team Taz.
Okay.
I mean,
Wasn't really the cleanest.
Dark Order came out to help him, but they put a hurting on him.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not like
he was dead on a ride.
He lost clean in the match, but he was beat up before.
Jumped
Yeah, he
for it,
wasn't.
so it's
He
not
wasn't
really a clean
100%.
loss.
And he still
right.
got good offense in there.
Mm-hmm. You thought Brian
I feel
Cage
like
was going to be
if
a
I
dominator.
may
He kind
say
of was. Is Kenny Omega
Yeah,
better than
actually-
Roman Reigns right now? I'm going to say yes for one reason.
That's a topic of debate for later, to be honest.
Kenny Omega has people challenging him. Roman Reigns doesn't have that. We just had Jay White, who is the never open weight champion, and then JPW challenge Kenny Omega. We just had Andrade challenge Kenny Omega. We are having everybody come at Kenny Omega right now. He is the hottest thing in pro wrestling right now because everybody wants a crack at him.
Because he's got all the gold.
Yeah, he's got all the gold. He's the title collector right now. Roman Reigns is... It's hard for me to say Roman Reigns is a big fish in a little pond. But when you think about all these other companies working together and then WWE playing with their own toys, Kenny
Reigns is a
Omega's...
big fish in a big pond. Omega's a big fish in many ponds.
Exactly. We'll go
Now,
ahead.
not to venture too far off the beaten path,
Mhm.
but do you think Kenny Omega beats Will Ospreay for the unified IWGP Heavyweight title?
I don't think they're going to do that for a while. 'Cause, he
Okay.
just won that. They might give him the other one.
When Kenny Omega loses, I think he's going to lose to the IWGP. I thought he was going to lose to Kota Ibushi. But Kota Ibushi, of course, lost it. So, I mean, I could see that. I could
Have
see him
Ospreay
losing
and
to
Omega
Will
ever
Ospreay.
fought?
Yes, they have. I was actually looking because I was wearing a
Yeah.
Will Ospreay shirt earlier before I put
Because I
my
would like to
work
see that
polo
match.
on. But yeah, next up we have the Sydal Brothers versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks take the win. I don't want to dig too deep into that. We had Orange Cassidy, a very good match between Orange Cassidy and Penta. Cassidy actually defeats Penta.
Really?
Yes.
That's one of the matches that you put the pen to the paper, and that's
Well,
no matter what the outcome is, that just sounds like a good time.
well, yeah, it wasn't clean.
Fair.
Yeah, because we had a distraction by Trent, and then we had an orange punch by Orange Cassidy, but he was holding a microphone, so kind of reminiscent to how Trent lost last week. They kind of turned it around and made Penta lose that way this
I
week.
see.
Orange Cassidy's just fun to watch.
He
So
is.
just
He's very, very
the whole
entertaining.
gimmick is stupid, but it's hilarious too.
It's hilarious. It's so over.
So next up, we had the Blood and Guts parlay. I can't say enough about the Inner Circle and Pinnacle right now. Just how good both these teams are doing at just elevating everything. Their promo games are on top of this world. They're on another level. It's just
Especially Jericho and MJF.
they're killing it right now. I cannot wait for Blood and Guts. Even like on social
next
media,
week,
it's
is it
really
not?
good.
Yes.
Yes.
is that
So
this
don't
week?
miss that. It is
Like
next.
as in 2 days from now. Yeah, that's 2 days
Yeah.
from now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, that's one you definitely don't want to miss.
Right.
But this was basically a nice back and forth between basically everybody. I mean, Sean Spears went after Samuel Guevara, Chris Jericho went after everybody, Cash Wheeler went after Santana and Ortiz. So, I mean, everybody's kind of showing who they're going to go up against in this match, which is pretty obvious, honestly.
Right.
Next up, we had Moxley and Eddie Kingston outsmarting Kenny Omega. Eddie Kingston refused to battle Michael Nakazawa in a match set up by AEW World Champion Kenny Omega earlier in the night. They demanded for Kenny Omega to come out, and they teased breaking Nakazawa's ankle, which Omega shrugged off. Brandon Cutler came out for the save on that, followed shortly by Jon Moxley, who threw Omega into the ring. Kingston threatened to break his ankle until Don Callis appeared. The Invisible Hand gave into the babyface's threats and granted Moxley and Kingston a match against Omega and Nakazawa on next week's show.
I think that Nakazawa is going to take the pin in that next match, and that's going to be Kenny Omega's first loss of the year.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And I could see Omega just leaving during the match too, just like I don't give a shit about
I
it.
could see that happening as well.
Yeah. So, next up we had Chris Statlander taking the win on Penelope Ford. Decent match. Another rough match, I want to say. I'm not a huge fan of this storyline, the Nightmare Family against the Factory. We have the Factory defeating the Nightmare Family. It's just, like, I just feel like it's a bunch of old
Factory guys
dudes.
over, and I just don't think it's working
Yeah.
right so far.
I don't think it's
still
working either.
early. It's still early, but
Oh, it's still very early.
Yeah.
I don't care about them.
I'll tell you this: it was very shocking watching it live, because I knew something was going to happen in that match, but I didn't know that. God damn, Dustin's bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Cody being on the bus, beating the hell out of QT Marshall was pretty good, but I just don't care about those other guys yet. They weren't. I mean, hopefully they'll build them. That's what they're trying to do.
I can't even say I 100% care about QT Marshall yet.
No, I am including him. Yes, he was just there with Cody, and I mean that's what they're doing with the storyline. He was in Cody's shadow and he didn't like it,
But he's still in Cody's shadow.
yeah.
Let's see.
Like they're calling themselves the Factory.
Yeah.
You're still the Nightmare Factory.
Yes.
Like
QT
you're
Marshall
calling yourself
lock.
the Factory. You're defeating your own purpose.
He's an old guy. He was fairly big on the independent scene. He never really made it like top of the top. Kind of like Colt Cabana. Everybody knows who
Okay.
Colt Cabana is. But yeah, QT Marshall's like a watered down Colt Cabana. Next up, we had main event Darby Allin, who seems to be getting the main event every single week, defending his TNT championship.
Cannot say that I'm opposed to that though.
This week, he defeated 10 of the Dark Order. After the match,
Ken can wrestle.
after the
I'll
match,
say that.
we had Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky attacking Darby Allin and Sting, which is kind of weird to see these two teaming up. But it looks like we're most likely going to get Paige and Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin and Sting.
I would like to see those two. I like the tag team. I would prefer to see those two.
Ty with the 32 bits. Thank you very much. Yeah, but that was AEW. SmackDown was decent. We'll hit
One
that
thing about
fairly
AEW,
quick.
I do like that they're pushing Darby Allin a lot.
They're strapping
It's very
a
good.
rocket on this man.
And then people always say, "Oh, they only push the WWE guys." He wasn't a WWE guy.
Nope.
MJF isn't a WWE guy, even though I know he had one or two set matches or segments, but they were not.
The 4 stars
he
I
was-
see AEW have made. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Trevor.
It's fine.
But the 4 stars that I've seen AEW make: Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby Allin, and what's the Team Taz guy?
Which one?
Ricky
Ricky
Starks.
Starks?
Ricky Starks. I feel like those 4 guys could be the main event scene here in a decade in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good.
I see Cena having maybe 1 or 2 matches left and being done. I see him having one more run, not 1 or 2 more matches. I see him getting that last title to break the record, to be honest.
You think he breaks the record or Orton does?
Orton
Isn't Orton? He's pretty
Orton-
close. I know
Orton's
he's not
3 away. He's at
tied, but
14. Yeah, he's at 14, so he would
he's
need
at
4 to
14.
break. He would need 3 to tie, 4 to break. I don't see that happening, honestly.
I don't see that happening either. This late in Orton's career, no.
That's a lot. We had, let's see, on SmackDown, we had Bianca Belair kicking off the show, who was interrupted by Bayley.
no. She was interrupted by Ziggler and Rude first.
Yes, that was for Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And then, yes, she was afterward interrupted by Bayley, who is the top contender for the Women's SmackDown Championship.
I feel like they're gonna have a good match at Backlash.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't like this.
Yeah, it wasn't a great match.
Yeah. This thing, I didn't like it. Which led
and
to
that's fair.
Which led to a match with
That was
the
a
Street Profits
6-man
and-
mixed tag match, wasn't it not?
Yeah, with the Street Profits and
Yeah.
Belair taking the win. After
I'm not really a fan of mixed tag matches just because they can't hit each other. Women can't hit
Yeah.
the men.
that's only
Okay.
in WWE.
Yeah.
That
that's what I would
technically
for
is,
me.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I don't think anyone should break it.
It's
I got
stupid,
DQ'd
okay?
for accidentally spearing an outside women manager. That was fun.
Technically, I would say John Cena did break it because if we want to get technical, Ric Flair's weren't all WWE championships.
Right. That's fair.
Next up, we had a non-title match. Natty and Tamina versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Tamina and Natty pick up the win.
Really? I'm assuming there was some fuckery.
Yeah, not really. No,
Really?
It was fairly clean.
All right.
Yeah.
That shocks me.
Yeah. So I mean, they're gonna get shots at Jackson Baszler's tag team championship.
I feel like
So-
they need to break up Jackson Baszler. It's been
Yeah.
kind of like simmering with the whole Reginald thing, and it's just like Baszler is such a good wrestler. She just needs to walk out and just do her own thing.
She needs to be a single
'Cause I've-
competitor.
She needs to be What was the point of that? It was what, 2 years ago now? She just wiped everybody in the Elimination Chamber just to lose to a roll-up.
That was last year.
That was last year. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Hell, bring back the whole she
that was
bites
bad.
people in the next thing. At least give her something.
That was pretty dumb too.
It was dumb, but it's better than what's going on right now. It's just She's just there.
Next,
Existing.
we have Aleister Black delivering another cryptic message. So hopefully hopefully this pays off, because it is good right now, but hopefully it pays off. Next, we had an Intercontinental Championship match between Big E and Apollo Crews. Big E picks up the win via disqualification.
There it is.
So he did not get the championship. Yeah, Kevin Owens ran into this one. Sami Zayn, Aziz. It was a big mess. Not a fan.
That just seems like WWE nowadays. It's just a big mess.
Mm-hmm.
I bet we're getting a tag team match next week. Big E and Kevin Owens versus either...
Gravity said it's her promo work, Baszler, is
Crew.
better left without speaking much and having a mouthpiece for her.
Yeah, but
she was very...
not that mouthpiece.
Shayna Baszler
Nia,
was good on the mic in NXT, to be honest with you.
She was, yeah. And her matches were some of the best on the TakeOver cards when she was in NXT.
Yeah. And then to the main event, we had a Universal Championship match. If Daniel Bryan loses, then he is banned from SmackDown. If he wins, he's the Universal Champion. But he did not win. Where do you guys see
I want to see him in
Daniel
NXT.
Bryan going?
I think he's going to go to NXT. Hopefully he challenges Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne did that.
I would. There's so
challenge.
many matches. If Daniel Bryan goes to NXT, there's so many matches I want to see. Off the top of my head, Kushida, Pete Dunne, Gargano. That's my top 3 right now, off the top of my head, that I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because Daniel Bryan, he's at the end of his career.
Yeah. If he could put over like Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne is amazing, and that
Pete
promo he
Dunne
did this
deserves
week-
to be NXT champion.
If you went to 205 Live. Surprisingly, 205 Live is still a thing.
Yeah. I forgot that existed for a little bit. I'm
Danny
not even
going
gonna lie.
to Raw. They're not gonna give us what we want. Most likely. But we did get a nice match between Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan already, so maybe.
That was a very nice match, though.
But we got that on SmackDown.
An episode of SmackDown. Yeah.
This was a great match, though.
And it was an NXT
Back to-
Championship match.
Back to
Yes,
one
the
we
match.
brought up.
The match was very good.
And Jey Uso didn't interfere. I mean, he came out and did some after this with a save against Cesaro,
Yeah.
but he didn't interfere. Roman won clean without help.
Which after that match, let's point that out. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso tie up Cesaro in the ropes and leave Cesaro to watch Roman Reigns deliver a concerto to Daniel Bryan. And
Yeah,
that's how we ended.
That's going to be a match. Cesaro and Roman, that's going to be a good match.
That's going to be a
Now,
very
do y'all
good
think
Cesaro-
Cesaro goes over on that?
No.
I don't know, because I don't think they want to take the belt off Roman yet.
I don't think they have an urge to take the belt off of Roman at all.
Humberto is kind of hot with facial hair. I read the comments. That's what I do.
I think they're going to keep Roman strong, so Jay is going to, of course, interfere, and either it's going to be a DQ on Roman, or Roman's going to win, but Cesaro's is going to...
I would love to see Cesaro take it, but I don't see it happening. I feel Cesaro is definitely due for a world championship run. He's been due for the last 5 years, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah, he's
been a
really good.
For a long time.
I mean, you thought they were pushing him before,
he's been
and then
phenomenal.
they stopped. For some reason, they just stopped.
It's like Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, all of them. It's like they should be world champions twice over.
Samoa Joe should have definitely had the belt. I mean,
at least once.
What is my favorite wrestler of all time? That's difficult. Because I look at things from a variety of different
Wow,
ways.
that's a question for the Q&A.
Off the top of my head, I'd say Chris Jericho.
Fair.
Chris Jericho has changed his style so much. I was a WCW guy, so I got my my taste of Jericho and WCW. And then when the door shut, I got to get my fill of Jericho debuting with the Man of the Millennium, which was great. And then beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. His promos have always been gold. And even moving to today, his ability to put people over. He's just an incredible human being. And he looks the way he does and can still hit a lion salt. That's extremely impressive to me.
It's pretty shaky. He's hit or miss on those lion salts.
He hits it. He does not hate WWE. If you go ahead,
he was just on Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah, watch the Stone Cold podcast with Jericho.
Is that worth watching? Because
Yes,
I don't have
it's very
Peacock,
good.
and I'd have to get Peacock for that.
It's very good. He does talk highly of Vince. He does talk highly of WWE, and he does speak highly of AEW. So he doesn't bury anybody on that podcast. It's good. Yeah.
I do enjoy listening to Jericho's podcast.
Yeah. So
SmackDown was hit or miss. It had some big highs with that last match, especially, and Big E match was good.
It started off rough,
Yeah.
and it got better. He admitted that he wanted to go somewhere where he's in the main event. Yeah, he basically talks about how him and Kevin Owens were the hottest story of the year. They were the hottest feud of the year with the Festival of Friendship, everything like that, which they were.
Yep, that match should have been the Universal Championship.
But they wanted Goldberg versus Brock.
A match nobody wanted.
Which so they moved Jericho
Except
and
for maybe
Owens from the
Travis.
main event to the second match on
Second card on the match, yep.
So yeah, yeah, that put a bad taste in Jericho's mouth, and he basically said that this is how I'm seen. This is where I'm going to be for the rest of my career. Let me make the jump and see what we can do. And it's gone
They
well so
said
far.
show of the week was AEW, and it usually is.
Usually
Anyway.
Yeah.
NXT is a very close second, if not tied for first. But this week, AEW.
Oh, and
Well,
since
we
we
talk
didn't
about Miro
Well-
going off on Kip Sabian.
True. We didn't talk about that, and we didn't talk about what we should have probably opened with, since technically it was on Sunday last week. Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann. Kenny Omega is the champion, which everybody knows now. It's not
Everybody saw that coming.
surprise. It's not surprising news, but we did not cover it last week because
the match was in progress when we had the podcast.
yeah. When I ended, the match was starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we have Kenny Omega holding not only the
I don't think anybody
AEW
is
World
necessarily
Championship.
surprised by that call.
No, he's also holding the Impact World Championship as well as the AAA Mega Championship. He's doing wonderful things for pro wrestling in general. Him, Don Callis, all of them, great things. I was there for his last WWE match. Whose?
Jericho's, I think.
Oh, where he got his head put in a chair and thrown against the ring post by Kevin Owens? I'm pretty sure that was his last match. Could be wrong. Is Impact still airing on TV? Yes, it is still airing on TV, but it's also
on
airing
some channel.
It's also airing on Twitch. I watch it on Twitch.
Oh, it's on Twitch. I did not know that.
Yeah, follow Impact Wrestling on Twitch every Tuesday.
I did not know that
Their show airs.
because we don't have cable out here. So.
Well, now you can watch Impact Wrestling on Twitch.
All right.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Impact is on Access. AX.
Access,
Yes.
that's what it is.
AXS. Jericho, yeah, was the SmackDown in Fresno. Was I right about that being his last match where he got his head put in the chair and thrown against the ring post? I think that was his last WWE match, but I'm not 100% sure. Pretty sure that's when he left for an extended period of time. Then he went to Japan, did his stuff in Japan, then AEW.
He fucked shit up in Japan, though.
He did great as the Painmaker. That's how I watch Impact on Twitch. Yeah, that's how a lot of people watch it. That's why their views, if you look at their ratings are only like 125,000. Which is, or not 125,000. It's
It's like 200 something.
no, it is. It's 125,000. I
Oh.
think last week it was 129. But they also don't account for Twitch. So you
That's
get what
John
you get.
Moxley, Jose. He's on
Where's
AEW.
Dean Ambrose?
He was
Yeah,
with
John
Eddie
Moxley.
Kingston.
John Moxley.
John Moxley.
Yeah, he broke the internet when he showed up at All In. And he attacked Chris Jericho and then got into that brawl with Kenny Omega.
That's a long-term story. That's some long-term storytelling right there, Chief.
It really was. It took what, a
year?
year for them to have their match?
Year and a half at that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move into, how's it going? What did Ty say? Just as I called it on the last pod, Charlotte Flair has just been added to the Raw Women's title match at Backlash. Yeah, it makes sense.
What's up, Grandmaster Key? Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
So
I don't have Twitch chat open.
we are at
That's fine. Me and Cody do.
yeah. Sorry, I don't watch too much wrestling, but I'm starting to watch it more because of AEW. AEW has brought a lot. It's brought a lot of people back into wrestling that fanned out.
Because I really just watch pay-per-views and 2K.
So, for the Q&A time, we are at about 50 minutes right now in the podcast. We did run through the weekend wrestling pretty quick, so that is good. So we will now move into the Q&A, which I would love for chat to get involved as well. I'll be reading your answers out aloud. So yeah, the first question that I had, I've already answered it, but it is for you guys, your favorite wrestler of all time. That's a difficult one.
For me personally, it's got to be sentimental for me. It's got to be either between Jeff Hardy or Edge. Because when I was a kid, those two were front and center, like every week on the programming, and they were so great. They were really the first feud I got into for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And their matches were always great, even to me. Even watching them back as an adult.
DKA said Macho Man. Ty said Cena or Taker.
If I had to choose, it'd have
Jose,
to be...
we'll answer that one next. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have questions that you want to ask us in the chat to answer, feel free. Trevor, do you have an answer for your favorite wrestler of all time? We went over this the first episode.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, we answered this the first episode of the podcast. Yeah, so Jose asks, greatest WWE champion. I'm going to...
Now, is he talking a single reign, or he talking
That's what I was kind of questioning. Greatest champion in terms of one
when you
run
think of the
or
WWE
multiple?
Championship, you think of John Cena. I'm sorry, it's just what immediately comes to mind when.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was very dominant in my childhood, and it's very sentimental for me. Like, John Cena was the WWE champion for majority of my life, up until that point.
Ty says Jinder Mahal. We got some silence on that.
I'm gonna go ahead and ban Ty now.
I actually enjoyed Jinder Mahal's title run, to be honest.
I did too.
But
for me, it's Cena.
Mueller goes with Triple H.
That's fair.
That's difficult.
That's a difficult question, but for me, it's Cena.
Yeah, I think Triple H buried a lot of people in his reign, so I cannot go Triple H, and that also pushes me to not want to go Cena either because he also buried a ton of people. Um,
You don't want to
That's
go Hulk
debatable.
Hogan?
Definitely not going Hogan.
I never
Definitely
liked
not
him.
going Hogan
Never.
for. If the answer is Hogan, you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah, if I had to answer that question, God, that's difficult.
But who else would you say if it's not Cena or H?
I'm going with.
Bret Hart, maybe?
No,
No,
I'm probably gonna
I'd
go
have
with.
to go.
I'm probably gonna go with The Rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say either Rock or Stone Cold.
But if I'm gonna do more, yep, Ty just said The Rock. If I'm gonna go more recent, I'm gonna go with Authority Seth Rollins.
That's okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna get into that one.
Just from the cash in, and I thought the title run was very good as well. I enjoyed Authority Seth Rollins. That's probably my favorite Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins.
I don't really have much recollection of Authority Seth Rollins because when WrestleMania was over, I got
They
put in a
said
group
CM Punk.
so I don't really have
CM
much
Punk's a good answer.
wrestling memory from 2015 to 2017.
DKA asked a little bit earlier, what was our favorite wrestling move?
Like a finisher or just like a transitional move, or we just what are we talking?
His was the Spanish Fly.
Spanish Fly is a good move. That's a solid move. For me, it's I pop for big knee and elbow moves. That's why I try to incorporate a lot of those into my character. I pop for knees and elbows.
Mine's the blue.
Like when Wade. Go ahead.
Mine's the blue Thunder Bomb.
That's fair. Yeah, when Wade Barrett was wrestling, like his last run, and he was throwing that bullhammer elbow. That move was insane to me.
Mueller says the 619.
That's fair.
I like the Jackknife Powerbomb, especially when someone like Nash does it.
No, that's definitely. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Powerbomb wise, I would have to put that at the top of the list for powerbombs as well.
Blue Thunder Bomb
That's
is so
a debate
good.
that we can have.
The way he does it, it just looks so good. It looks so pretty.
It's not jacking. It's not 7 feet in the air and gravity decides your fate.
Mm-hmm. Jose asked what was the best gimmick of all time. He asked if Undertaker had the best gimmick of all time, but that kind of is.
I would have to agree with that.
The way he just made little changes. I mean, the whole biker was a big change, but
we don't talk about that.
For the most part, he just did small tweaks to the character and kept it relevant for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against Undertaker being the best gimmick, because I mean his whole career was a gimmick, so it's kind of hard to go against that. Gravity Well says his favorite move is the Destroyer, the Canadian Destroyer, eh? Yeah, I enjoy that move as well, but that move's becoming very overdone.
It's a transitional move at this point.
It's becoming very overdone. When Dustin Rhodes is doing it every week,
I mean, shit. When I seen Marty Jannetty hit that shit, I popped.
I do love the Canadian
that was
Destroyer,
insane.
though. But the Canadian Destroyer used to be like so rare and look so dangerous. I remember when
P.D. Williams first whipped it out.
who did it off the top of a ladder through. It was a PWG show.
Oh, are you not talking about the recent one with AEW?
No, it was
PWG.
It was British Bulldog.
Oh, was that Penta?
No, it was British Bulldog's son. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Oh, Dave Boy Smith.
Davey Boy Smith did a Canadian Destroyer off the top of a ladder through like 2 tables. It was ridiculous.
Ty said Faces of Foley and OG Kane are second, third best gimmicks. I love Foley's different characters, especially when he did them all in like one night. And or multiple
Yeah,
times.
that 1998 Rumble, I've never really went to go back and watch a Rumble match, but like with Foley just entering as himself 3 separate times, it's great. It's great.
Or when he introduces himself like as one character, and he's like,
Yes.
"Let me talk to you. Talk to this guy," and he comes on.
Cactus Jack. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? You're thinking. I fucking love Foley.
Let's see here.
I love the Fiend gimmick too, but you know they keep shitting on it.
Yeah.
I mean Bray Wyatt's gimmicks all together.
Bray Wyatt in general is great.
Except for Husky Harris, of course, but we don't talk about that.
Hey,
We don't talk about Ryback either.
Don't disrespect Husky Harris. Best gimmick, Matt Hardy version 1.
That's another man that's tweaked his gimmick around so much. I mean,
But his are big changes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all of his gimmicks are very good. Big Money Matt, Deletion Matt, version 1 Matt.
Hey,
All of
low
them.
key, Matt Hardy's Woken gimmick in WWE was not terrible.
No, it was
Vince,
just
like,
Vince just didn't.
they
get
wouldn't
it.
let him execute it the way he needed to.
Exactly.
Yeah, Vince really didn't get
Excuse
it.
me. Oh, excuse me.
But then they let Taker and AJ Styles do that great match. I mean, why
I
couldn't
love
he
Matt
just?
Facts.
Why
Matt
wouldn't
Facts
they
were
let
great.
One of the best matches over that WrestleMania weekend.
DK, if you like Matt Facts, he still does Matt Facts. You just have to
I
watch.
think he does, yeah.
You just have to watch Being the Elite to get it.
And
Oh,
they
yeah,
did
BTE.
Yeah, he does it on
the
BT.
Cena Wyatt match. I'm like, why couldn't they let him do something like that?
Wyatt lost, should have been the winner of 2 consecutive WrestleManias, 30 and 31. He should have beat Cena and he should have beat Taker. I'm sorry, okay? That's just how I feel.
I don't think he should have been in the match with Taker. They weren't going to let Taker lose 2 years in a row. They should have done it that year is what I mean. I mean, they should have had the match eventually, but not that year.
I see. No, I
weren't
see.
gonna
I
let him
definitely see
lose.
what you're saying.
Let's see. Greatest tag team of all time.
Young Bucks, next.
That was a quick answer for the Young Bucks. Somebody that's a team that's in the here and now. Honestly, I would pick a team that's here and now. It wouldn't be the Young Bucks, though, to be honest.
Okay, well,
I would pick the New Day.
that's actually a valid point.
Yeah, New Day.
I didn't think
hands
about that.
down.
Sorry, I'm stoned.
I think so too.
ripped this son
Ty.
of a bitch.
He said that Wyatt should have brought into the streak instead
I
of
think
Rock.
I think
didn't need
everybody agrees on that. Just about everybody agrees on that. Let's see here. Jose says the Hardy Boys. That's a valid answer. A very
The
valid
New
answer.
Day would have been my vote too, because just
I
if you
used
think
to
of what-
really.
And honestly, the Usos is another safe bet.
Yeah, I love them too. But the way the New Day started, I was like, this gimmick ain't gonna last. And then they just changed it and made it amazing.
So I don't know if any of you watched ROE as faithfully as I did in like 2010, 2011, 2012. Because I watched that every week and I watched that live. It was a channel that we didn't even get. I had to go online to watch that shit.
Jose said
But
the
do you
Nexus.
remember the Briscoe
If
brothers?
they didn't get buried by
Jay-
John Cena, yeah.
The Briscoe brothers. I loved the Briscoe brothers as a kid.
Briscoes are still great.
They're still great.
Oh God, you guys! I swear, some of the guests we have on here make me feel so old. The fact that you just said the Briscoe brothers, you were watching them as a child. You said they were your favorites as a kid.
I
It makes
said-
me feel so
I was
old.
11.
Oh my God!
I'm only 22.
And I bet it makes
Both kids to
Trevor
me.
feeling.
You're
even older.
28.
Ah my
We don't
God!
talk about Trevor's age, you know.
Let's talk about Trevor's age.
67. It's okay.
DX was good. Yes.
DX is great.
What
I'm
part of
anybody
DX?
who knows me knows DX's humor is like my humor. I laugh. into the childest of shit.
Let's see if you could push one superstar right now, who would it be?
Like strap a rocket on him,
Yeah,
any promotion, anything like that.
Yep.
Cesaro, it's his time. Cesaro is phenomenal in the ring. Phenomenal. Tell me a bad Cesaro match. Off the top of your head, a bad Cesaro match.
It's difficult.
Exactly. It's difficult because he's that damn good. This man has been in WWE
Gravity
for
said
a decade now?
Brock was best to end the streak. That is not true.
That is debatable.
That is not true. I mean,
it is extremely debatable.
It's convincing.
I like Jose's answer, Keith Lee.
Strap a rocket on. If I had to choose Raw and SmackDown, Raw,
Ty
Keith
said
Lee,
Aleister
SmackDown,
Black.
Cesaro.
I say Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet's a good answer too.
Ricochet's so good.
Strap that rocket on Ricochet.
There's like WWE has a tendency to just sit on gold.
I mean, it's. I have very mixed reactions about it because not everybody can be pushed, and I get that. But
And that's fair.
If you look at other companies, if you look at New Japan, if you look at AEW, even looking at NXT, there's guys that are over and they're not getting buried, and they're doing very well with, even though they're not at the top. So if you look at NXT, you look at Cameron Grimes. He's not at the top at all, but he's still completely over. He's still on TV every week. He's still doing... I mean, this week, it was light for him, but he had a promo with the $1 Million Man, which was great. And that puts him over. I mean, if you look at AEW, you look at Jungle Boy, you look at... really... I mean, Hangman Adam Page, you look at a bunch of guys... They aren't. Penta, Rey Fenix, Pac, all those guys are still looking very good on a weekly basis. No, they're not on TV every week, but just about every other week you'll see basically all the guys that we're talking about.
I think AEW uses jobbers better too. 'Cause they don't.
Their two YouTube shows. I was just about to mention that too. Their two YouTube shows. I watch those religiously. Like I watch AEW Dark Elevation over Raw. I'm not scared to admit it. Because they put on good matches. Like they put on really good matches on Dark Elevation.
Jose says they think the WWE issue is that they have so many good wrestlers that they don't have time to push.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then they give us the same match so many times.
I disagree with that because they have 7 hours of wrestling every week. 7 hours. If you count a 3-hour Raw, a 2-hour SmackDown, a 2-hour NXT, you have 7 hours. And then if you also want to talk
too many
about
titles as well.
If you also want to talk about main event, you also want to talk about 205 Live. There's 2 more hours. You have 9 hours of wrestling now that the WWE has to put people on TV. No main event and 205 Live, they're on Peacock, but that's still giving them exposure and still giving them a chance to have great matches and for Vince to see that they're having great matches. But they're still not doing it, which that's the big problem is Vince isn't seeing these things. And what they are doing, what they are pushing is spending a lot of time on stuff that people don't care about at all. The Bianca Belair Street Profits stuff, that stuff lasted a good, 45 minutes? Trevor?
Yeah, it was
good 45 minutes. You took almost a half an episode of SmackDown to do what?
Tell a story that's not even there.
It's rough. And I mean, feel free to disagree with me, anybody in chat, but that's just how it is.
You're hitting the nail on the head.
And I know Travis disagrees with me a lot, so I'm upset he's not here to be like, well, you see. But
I mean, he was here. He the one that said,
no, I meant in the Discord.
Oh, in the chat, yeah.
Yeah.
Or in the voice.
in my ears. But yeah, I mean, you can't push everybody at the same time. I completely get that, but you can do better than what you're doing right now.
There's not pushing them, and then there's burying them. Ricochet has been buried.
Yeah, Ricochet
In
has
the
been completely buried.
in the jobber locker room, chasing after the 24/7 title, which I don't even think is on TV anymore.
Yeah, where has that
Hasn't
been?
I mean, not that I care.
And
I mean,
let's
R-Truth is hilarious.
we can
and,
also talk about where has AJ Styles and Omos been.
Well, they're supposed to be back on this week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're
Finally,
supposed to be back this week, but we're almost to Backlash, which means that if they have a match, it's going to be against New Day. If they have a match at Backlash, it's going to be against New Day because they don't have any storylines.
I mean,
and they just
we
took
know
the titles off New
Vince
Day.
doesn't care about tag titles.
No, it's terrible
Tag team
because
wrestling.
tag team wrestling is some of the biggest draws right now on. So if you look at AEW has a really good tag team division. People love AEW because of their tag teams, and they have so many tag teams. And notice how you haven't had that many tag team champions, but nobody's really buried. Death Triangle's not buried. Santana and Ortiz have not touched the titles, but they have stayed relevant.
Free LAX.
Free LAX.
I'd assume Edge is taking a break. He's supposed to wrestle more matches than just like one or two, but he's not going to be
I
wrestling.
think he's only contractually obligated to wrestle for a year.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I haven't
believe
seen
I heard
it.
that
Something
somewhere
like
when
that.
he first signed.
Yeah,
It's
I knew
either
it
2 or
was.
4.
I knew it was fairly small.
I'm
Let's
pretty sure it's
see.
4.
Does chat have any more questions? I mean, I can easily make some questions, but
I'm going to need to take off soon to grab my brother from work. But
okay.
you
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
free to keep going without me.
yeah, I mean, you're good to go whenever. We're set to be on for another 25 minutes, so if people want to talk for the next 25 minutes, ask questions, feel free. But if not, I mean, we can always cut out a little bit early as well.
I'm not opposed to that.
But yeah, we did talk about this week in wrestling. Q&A. We've asked a few questions now, gone through a few things. But yeah, if chat has any more questions, feel free to ask away whoever is in chat right now.
I've got a couple questions. If nobody has any.
Go ahead. Feel free to ask a
All
question.
right. So,
Are we doing a retro review next week too?
Yes.
what is that?
Okay.
So I can.
Well,
We haven't
Maybe
decided
get
yet. I
another
was just
shot.
asking.
yeah, we'll talk about it tonight, and we'll have one set for tonight.
Because I don't know if I'll watch it anyway. I don't know if I'm going to be on next week or not.
Yeah. Trevor, we'll talk after. Will, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Sorry.
So
you're
I
good.
know earlier we touched on like favorite wrestler, favorite move, favorite yada yada. I want to know, and you can give me a top 4 favorite entrance themes of all time.
That's difficult.
It's a very difficult one. For me personally, since I asked the question, I'll get it out of the way. Shinsuke Nakamura, for sure.
Original or heel?
Which one?
Insane. His original one. The
Yeah.
heel one was good, but it's no original. I'm one of the very few that like the original. I mean the heel.
Oh, I like them
As
both.
the- Yeah, I feel like they were both good, and the people bitching were.
Jose says John Cena. Which John Cena? The Thug Life one or the one that he ended his time with?
No More Words, Jeff Hardy.
That's a good one.
He's been teasing that on his socials that he's going to be bringing that back. I'm going to have to go with Edge because I am a mark. Meddling just hits different. I'm
The
sorry.
last one, it was. It was
Three
good.
beers and a doobie in, and it's great. It's great. So I got Shinsuke, Drew, Edge. No, I didn't say Drew. Drew's Broken Dream. Okay, I'm gonna do a top 5 because it's not
Ty
fair to
said
myself.
Stone Cold, John Cena, My Time Is Now, The Fiend, and Triple H, The Game. Locke says I love Shinsuke's second theme when he first turned heel. Yeah.
When he first turned, I loved that theme. At the time I saw it as an upgrade. It was like, got this Japanese guitarist and you don't know what he's saying, but it goes so crazy.
It really does.
It's a good
Sing
entrance.
along even though you don't speak Japanese.
Yeah, like I can't even. It's great. You try. It's exactly what it is.
I would say. Oh, you go on.
I'm gonna combine both of them because I just love
DK just said mine.
the
Randy
the
Orton's old
the Fiend the Fiend one and the original version of that. I like them both.
I like Orton's. Hey, nothing you can say.
Yeah.
That's
the
was
one.
my ringtone for a very long time in high school.
That's the one.
And then Drew's original theme, "You're Out of Time," like that one was pretty good. A lot of people were hoping they would bring that back for Mania, but there was really no purpose.
Grav said Wyatt Family, Fiend, Edge by Rob Zombie are a few amazing ones.
I also like Chocolates.
I am a very big fan of Slow Chemical, Kane's 2001 music, if I'm not mistaken. Slow Chemical is still one of my favorite songs to this day. I still listen to that a lot.
Alright, I'm gonna dip out now. You guys
You're good.
have the rest of the
Yep.
stream. Sorry about leaving there.
Yes, sir.
No, you're fine.
No worries.
Take care.
Getting ready to clock out.
Story of
here
the year
myself, too,
doing
'cause
Christian's. I loved Christian's theme song as well.
Christian
his gospel one.
Christian.
DK has a question. Take a gimmick from a wrestler and give it to someone who could do it better.
Ooh.
That's.
Ooh. I'm gonna defer that one to you because I need to think about that because that is a good question.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to think of somebody that doesn't do a gimmick well. Because I feel like if I think about that,
did they ever
first,
say what they were doing with Cesaro's? Like, why does he have like a bunch of numbers floating on the screen now? Was there ever a reason behind that, or just because they could have just given him his old theme back, and everybody would have been happy.
Benoit's theme was great.
Benoit's theme was great. I still listen to that one too.
What I mean, Eddie Guerrero's was a pop too.
Oh god, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
You're good. Take a gimmick from someone else. You did not mute yourself, sir.
I know.
That's a hell of a question. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to think of somebody that I don't think did a gimmick very well. That kind of floundered with a gimmick. Or I'm trying to think of like an old school gimmick and throwing it to
If I had
today.
to give like a gimmick to somebody, I feel Seth Rollins does a great job as the Messiah. I don't know necessarily why he's a Messiah. Hell, I could say that for myself a couple times, but we ain't gonna go into that right now.
Let
I feel like
let me give $1 Million Man his gimmick. Not saying he did it bad, but let me give $1 Million Man's gimmick to Bobby Roode.
I want to see like kind of Seth Rollins Messiah gimmick on Bray Wyatt, like kind of like a cult leader 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would go kind of crazy. Or I'm just stoned.
I'm trying to think of more people.
That's a very good question.
I think Penta now would do Eddie Guerrero's gimmick very well.
I feel like I could definitely see that.
But I also would not want him to stop doing El Ser Romero.
I feel like if Penta didn't spam the taunt button in all of his matches, he would win all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Brody, his gimmick in AEW is what he should have been doing in WWE. And
For
not,
sure.
I mean, the fact that Vince was mad at him because he couldn't do a southern accent because he's from Jersey. He's from New York. Um, that's rough. He's trying to do a southern accent, but he has no idea how. That you can't. Nobody can win in that situation. He's a very intelligent guy. He should have been able to show that he was an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Locke said on themes he enjoyed New Age Outlaws You Ain't Heard theme. WWF's
you didn't know?
Aggression album is still on my playlist along with Stone Cold's Hell Yeah off same. Do you guys remember
I
John
will
Cena's old album? Like his legit album? You
Like the My
you
Time
might
Is
have-
Now album?
you might have been a baby when it came out.
I was a small
but the-
child when that
the
came out,
the
yes.
CD
But I
was
have
the-
heard the album.
The CD was like it was his spinner belt. It was a legit album.
It was a legit thing, and it was actually kind of
I want to
good
say
from what I've heard.
I want to say it had 17 songs on it.
I thought it was like 6.
I asked no, it was like 17.
I have an Amazon Echo here. If you
I-
want me to ask it real quick.
I was just listening to the album the other day.
From what I've heard, it's pretty good.
I'm looking at how many songs are on it. It's in the teens though, for sure.
Alexa, how many
17.
songs? John's? Never mind. Canceled.
Oh, I almost dropped
So
it.
you were right.
I
Yeah.
can't pause.
17 songs. You guys really can't see it, but yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was 6. No, I was
Crazy.
thinking of Elias's album.
Was John Cena a real rapper? Yeah, listen to that album. If you want some recommendations, I literally just listened to the album. Let's see. Chain Gang is the Click is a very good song. Queen, thanks for the host. Flow Easy. Flow Easy is probably the best song on the album. Listen to Flow Easy. That's the one I would say if I had to pick one song for everybody to listen to off John Cena's album, it is Flow Easy.
Okay.
Very, very good song. I can't play it
Shoot me a
right
message
now
after we're done
because
here.
of copyright infringement, but yeah, very good song. You'd be surprised at how good that album was. He was a real rapper, but was he a good rapper? That album was good. Surprisingly, the album was good.
I listened to Elias's album. It only had like 4 songs on it, but it was okay.
I just want to point out John Cena. Okay, John Cena has a platinum album. It is a platinum.
I'm sorry, that is a platinum album?
Yes, it is a platinum album.
What the fuck?
John Cena is a platinum recording artist. Tag team match that never happened.
Ooh, like fantasy
That's rough.
booking?
Was it though when you collaborate with Bumpy Knuckles? Don't disrespect Bumpy Knuckles. Bumpy Knuckles is a feature on a platinum album, okay? Tag team match that never happened.
Like fantasy booking, is that what we're doing?
I'm gonna say Young Bucks versus New Day.
I would love to see that match.
World's greatest tag team versus world's tag team champions of the world, Daniels. And
I would like
Kazarian.
to see. I feel like this has happened before. Young Bucks versus Good Brothers. That's definitely happened before.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah. Motor City Machine Guns
Young Bucks versus the Rockers.
versus.
Oh,
I'd like to see Motor City Machine Guns versus New Day.
Can we combine like that? Can we combine? Like
I
old
feel
school
like this
tag
is
teams with
an
new
open-ended
school?
question, so I'm gonna say yes.
Michaels and Adam Cole versus Ciampa and Triple H.
No, that's just putting shit into the WWE universe and letting it happen.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. Let me get. Now, listen to me for a second, okay? This is
Okay.
what we're
Yeah,
gonna do.
I'm listening.
This is what we're gonna
Okay.
do. We're gonna take Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
We're gonna tag him. Yep, I said tag him
Uh-huh.
with. We're gonna tag him with Brian Cage. Okay.
Okay. I could see that.
So Brock Lesnar and Brian
Brock
Cage
Lesnar and Brian Cage.
versus so the Beef Boys slapping Beef Boys against the Steiner Brothers.
Like WCW Steiner Brothers.
Yes, Steiner Brothers.
Like everybody's in their prime, right?
Yeah, everybody's in their prime.
Am I high or is that
Does
that work?
The headdress with the chains and all.
Oh, so that's Scott Steiner, and then the WCW Rick Steiner versus
Yep.
like PGW or PWG, no PGW Brian Cage,
Yeah,
or
or
Impact Brian Cage,
Yeah.
Impact Brian Cage before Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, and we'll say like Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could fuck with that.
Did I just blow everyone's mind?
It's probably because I'm stoned,
Or did I make everybody a little bit dumber? I just want to see some Beef Boys
I think
taking
I've lost brain
bumps.
cells. Hey, look, I'm all for big sweaty men beating the shit out of other big sweaty men.
Beefy boys taking bumps. Ty says NWO versus Undisputed Era. Yeah.
Okay, but
Well,
who in
let's
NWO? Would it be
let's say NWO versus DX.
like okay? Let's just say NWO,
That would be a hell of a
NWO, like
versus.
their original 3 versus Undisputed Era's original 3.
No.
That would go
We're saying-
crazy.
we're saying
No?
4. We're saying War Games
Oh.
match.
For Undisputed Era versus NWO?
Yeah.
Okay, but who's NWO's 4th?
X-Pac?
Is it the Giant?
X-Pac? Hogan, Nash, Hall, and 6, which is Pac. Most underrated wrestler of all time, William Regal.
William Regal.
Easily.
Agreed.
Way past. Like, he was...
Phenomenal technical wrestler.
He was wrestling how people rest today,
Oh, yeah.
back in the 90s and early 2000s. William Regal, easily.
I am
I would...
what some would say a slut for technical wrestling.
Yeah.
William Regal is one of my favorite, if not my favorite technical wrestler of all time. Besides maybe Benoit.
But if we're saying, like, most underrated right now, Tyler Bate.
Underrated right now? Like, across any promotion or like WWE specifically?
I was just sticking with WWE brands.
Okay.
I said Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate hasn't done...
Tyler Bate is phenomenal.
Tyler Bate hasn't done anything in, like, 4 years, and he was, like, a prodigy at the age of 20. He was, like, 18 when the NXT
But he does put on really good matches every time he's in the ring.
Ridiculous. The dude is
His match
ridiculous
versus
and shit he
Walter,
moves.
I thought he died. His selling in that match was
Tyler
God
Bate.
tier.
Tyler Bate needs to be on the main roster right now.
agreed.
Wait,
or
wait,
at
wait.
least like
You're gonna say
mainstream
William
NXT.
Regal when you have the Brooklyn Brawler on the table? Yeah, and I'm also gonna say William Regal when I have the Shockmaster on the table.
Not the Shockmaster.
Basically, all the OG 205 Live guys. Yeah.
Oh, the OG, like, if I could get, like, a Survivor Series match with them. So, the 4 off the top of my head would be Mustafa Ali, it'd be Cedric Alexander, Tony Nese, and...
Either
Fuck, what's
Pac
the
or
other
Enzo.
I just had his name. Buddy Murphy.
Okay.
Buddy Murphy, yeah.
Buddy
those
Murphy's
four that
extremely disrespected right now. Okay,
Oh
but
my
I was
God, don't
actually
you-
being kind of serious. Brawler could put over anyone. Never got the credit. I felt
Most
like he was good.
overrated wrestler of
Well,
all
that would
time.
that would be completely underrated in that sense of things, for sure.
Did you hear my question, Cody?
What?
Who? Okay, so I got a question I'll throw out there. Most overrated wrestler of all time.
Triple H. Don't even have to
Hogan.
think about it. It's Triple H. Triple H got the rub because of you know, who is Papa Bear is. Hogan's a fair answer. Ty says Hogan.
Hey,
as well.
Hogan. Yeah, I said Hogan.
Ultimate
as well.
Warrior. Ultimate
Warrior,
Warrior's-
I
Ultimate
mean,
Warrior is extremely.
He didn't
overrated.
need a no-sell pedigree and fucking beat Triple H in 56 seconds in the 90s, but look where Triple H was now.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior is extremely overrated.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I had to think
I don't know.
of
His
someone in-
his entrance was a bop though. He got me hyped and
Oh,
sweaty
yeah.
watching his entrance. Just watching his entrance, I'm
his
getting sweaty.
entrance is hype as fuck.
Jose said Vince. Absolutely. Vince is extremely overrated. He's a millionaire that should be a billionaire. From what CM Punk said.
Oh, I thought Heyman said that originally. Because
I
I
don't
just
know.
I go back and I watch various promos because
CM
I have a
Punk
lot
said it
of
in the
wrestling
pipe bomb.
feeds. What's that?
CM Punk said it in the pipe bomb. I love his
Oh
gimmick
yeah,
even
that's
now,
right.
but
That's
he was
right.
a
I was
terrible
thinking of
wrestler.
I was thinking of Heyman's work shoot, like the go home show for Survivor Series,
Yeah.
2002. That promo. You're a self-made billionaire, but not like a self-made billionaire like you'd like to proclaim.
What
You're
wrestler is the most beloved one of all time?
Mick Foley.
Undertaker. I would.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
got me on that one. You got me on that one.
yeah, I mean, nobody. I don't know anybody that hates the Undertaker. That absolutely hates the Undertaker.
Personally, yeah, I don't know. I know people that like dislike the Undertaker, but like they
Yeah.
respect him.
I was never a huge fan of Undertaker, but I respected him.
I wasn't either, but you gotta respect it.
The Undertaker. Teddy Long.
Teddy Long was some great memes.
Stone Cold and The Rock are extremely beloved. And both of them had shortened careers. Stone Cold's not by choice, The Rock's by choice. Stone Cold broke his neck. Unfortunate. But I mean, I think their careers are so much better how they are. Like, yes, they're
for sure.
shortened, but who knows what would have happened if they were
Dude,
wrestling
Rock was
for
getting
5
booed out of the
more
building
years.
at SummerSlam 2002.
Unpopular opinion, Taker is overrated. Yeah. I don't think it's
Yeah. I don't think it's unpopular. I think it's spot on. Just
Ty said it's unpopular for a reason. Yeah, I mean, people don't like to hear it. The cold, hard truths. John Cena's
Yeah.
beloved right now, but before he was hated. John Cena was beloved
I've always
before
loved John
and hated
Cena.
now. But I think people are respecting him now that he's gone.
oh yeah, I miss him.
Kane over Taker.
That's like you saying Christian over Edge.
But that one's true.
It's not though.
Um,
We're not doing this. That's y'all and Travis. That's you and Travis's thing. That's not my thing.
Christian is a much better technical wrestler, promo, really all around.
That's cap. You're
Better wrestler.
you're taking advantage of me right now, Cody.
If you watch Christian carry Impact Wrestling, sorry, it was TNA back then. Cody saying ridiculous shit and then smirking makes me want to bite him. It's how I feel. I truly that is
it's
not
wrong.
you guys can say or think that I'm joking when I say Edge is was worse than Christian or that Christian was better than Edge. I am completely serious. I truly believe that Christian was better than Edge. I was never a fan of Edge. I was never an Edge head. But I was a huge fan, not necessarily of Christian until he went to Impact, and I saw exactly what Christian could do. Even in WWE CW a little bit. But more in TNA. I mean, the Christian's Coalition. I mean, everything he did in TNA was gold. And I saw how good Christian actually was. So, yes, I'm completely serious every time I say Christian over Edge. But I have valid reasoning for believing it as well. I'm not just going to say Christian over Edge and have no reasoning to back it up, you know?
This has been your bit for the last year now, Cody. It's okay.
It's been my bit since Edge retired, really. Yeah, I mean, I think that Edge is extremely overrated. That's just my opinion.
All right, so it's been a good podcast.
My opinion can be wrong too if you'd like. Where's DKA? He always agrees with me when I go on these Christian over Edge stances because he feels the same way. Me and DKA have talked about it before.
My drink's not marked.
Jose says Stone Cold over CM Punk. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of CM Punk either. Well, Cody had a good run. Right. He's not gonna fire me for that opinion, or else he would have never had me sign on because we've argued about it. Now DKA, I see you're eating wings, but yes, I know you believe Christian over Edge. Yes, thank you for solidifying that. But yeah, we did get a late start. We got a late start, but it is 10 o'clock now. So we will end this podcast on me saying Christian is better than Edge. Anyway, do you have any final words for the listeners, Will?
Just thanks for letting me be on. You know,
Not
appreciate all you. Sorry, I haven't been of much use for like the last 30 minutes. I've just been staring at the ceiling, wondering why all these cracks are in it.
Yeah, I know I'm at an hour and a half.
I've just been...
We got a late start. We did get a late start. Usually we end at 10. We really don't have much more to talk about besides unless chat wants to ask more questions, which we would just run through questions. But I'm completely fine with ending the podcast. And if you Locke and Travis are okay with it, I wouldn't mind hopping on Outriders until like midnight. So I can still continue streaming if you guys...
I don't have that game.
So Locke, you just tell me. If you guys are cool with me streaming until midnight, streaming Outriders until midnight, I'll continue to
Is that my cue to leave or...
No, I mean, we're still going to do...
I don't have that game.
We're still going to do our typical sign-off, everything like that. The one question I have is, why is R-Truth not in the main event? True.
R-Truth carries.
Okay. Well, I'm going to... Yeah, after I do this sign-off and everything, I am gonna end the stream. Then I'll start Outriders up about 5 minutes after.
Damn, I was really hoping you were going to say Rocket League.
I mean,
I don't even think
I'm trying to think.
It's up to you.
No, we're gonna do Outriders.
That's fine.
Do you know how to update your stream info? No, I do not. I know I was told that it's in the tools, and Travis sent me a picture of what his looks like, and he had a lot more selections than I did.
Mario Kart on Wednesday night, don't forget. If we're still live. I don't know if we're still live.
We are.
Hey.
That's how I'm still talking to people. It's because chat's running.
Oh, I thought you were talking to like Brittany or something. I got really confused.
No.
I think I'm gonna go. Thanks for having me.
You're good. Do you wanna plug MXG?
I don't really have anything to plug, and I don't know if I'm allowed to plug that.
Stay tuned. No, I meant just MXG. Stay tuned for on NAW. Cody's gonna have a promo. Unhappy promo.
Yeah, you better come back and fight me, bitch.
I guess you'll see if Cody's coming out of retirement. He's been retired for 5 months now.
He didn't even come out of retirement to fight DKA.
A lot longer than people anticipated.
Why would he come out of retirement to fight me? Because I ran my mouth again. What? I run my mouth on a regular basis. What do you mean?
True, and Camden can probably shut you up for him. So
probably, but he's only done so once.
1-1.
We're 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rubber match.
Yeah, I don't have all the same stuff you do in OBS. I dropped a link in the Facebook.
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna go downstairs. Are we
No, you're
still
good.
live?
We are. But yeah,
Shit.
thank you guys for coming out. Yeah, I am going to cut the stream, and then I will hop back on for some Outriders. I'll probably stay until around midnight. I hope you guys enjoyed this week in wrestling and the Q&A. We are going to be reviewing a older pay-per-view next week, so we're gonna get back on that train.
If you need somebody for that, just let me know the pay-per-view and I'll finesse it somehow.
Okay. One of these times I gotta get you and Will in the same night. That just sounds like I don't want to say the word.
Wait, who and me?
DK.
Oh, that just sounds like a sexual disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, I was gonna say chaos, but I didn't want to say the word around you guys.
What's a villain club anymore? Like, come on now.
True. I love Van. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. I'm gonna cut this, and then stay tuned. About 5-10 minutes, I'm gonna set up a Outrider stream. So yeah, if you guys want to stick around for the Outrider stream, feel free to show us some love. Stop in, do another host. I think you'll get bits again. So yeah.
Hey, I didn't even host the stream the first time.
Well, you might want to do it before we go off. See ya!